you're willing to do something other people are not.
Yep. And it really is all about having identified some of the things that you want to accomplish, right? If you know that you want to, let's say, talk to 10 more sellers before the week's out, what are you willing to do to put yourself in a position to do that? And Risha was given the example of a Black Friday, right? Everyone's out shopping. Well, just stop and think for a second. Maybe you're out shopping too, or you're doing it all online, whatever's your thing, go for it. But guess what? How many motivated sellers do you think are out shopping on Black Friday? Some of them, maybe, right? But a lot of them might be home. There might be people, they might still be trying to put up Christmas lights. You ever think to, drive by a property, see somebody outside, strike a conversation with someone, just being friendly. Happy holidays, right? If you're shy, just say happy holidays, right? It's safe, it's politically correct, applies to everybody. Happy holidays. And it's a friendly gesture, no different than hello. And it gives you an opportunity to kind of break the ice and talk to somebody if you know that maybe a soft spot in your business is your proactive nature as it pertains to talking to sellers. So that's a little baby step that you can make, right? By listing out all the things that you want to accomplish this year. Maybe the list is too long to fit into this year, but by going through the exercise of doing the brain dump, you might find that some things get highlighted or bubbled up to the top, and you can start to take incremental actions on those. As simple as talking to a seller, as simple as finding that old list where you did the list stacking, but you never uploaded it, or you never scrubbed it, or you never did the extra step where you're almost at the goal line, but you just need another baby step, not a maybe step, right? It's about definiteness in your actions. And so even if you're making those incrementally small strides forward, it's still moving forward. The guy going 1 mile an hour is going to be incrementally faster and infinitesimally faster than the person going 0 miles an hour. They're not moving at all. So even if you're taking baby steps, you're still making progress and still moving forward, because you'd be surprised at what you can accomplish if you give yourself enough runway to actually hit that goal.
So what are you guys planning on accomplishing, or what have you had planned to accomplish this year that you have not yet accomplished, or you haven't yet completed that task? Maybe you're working on it. Maybe you look at it and feel like it's impossible to get it done this year. I'm curious to know where you guys are and what you're running into.
Yeah, it would be good, because what we've found really in the last, I guess, few years, and it's been longer than that actually, but just, going through the practice of looking at and evaluating challenges, no different than when you guys are wrestling with these sellers trying to figure out like, oh, what's it going to take to get the deal done? You're wrestling with that challenge, trying to figure out a solution. And so sometimes getting fresh eyes or fresh perspective on what the challenge might be can give new insight, because everyone's heard the old saying, it's like you can't get through your problems with the same thinking that put you in those problems. You need a different type of thinking, a different way of looking at the situation or the scenario. So sometimes maybe being a little bit more open about sharing what some of those challenges are can help get the ball rolling. I don't know if comments are coming in, but somebody might be like, hey, I'm trying to make, extra 20 grand this year, or an extra 50 grand, or extra 100 grand this year. Okay, great. What actions are you working on to take that into account and get that thing done? But you also have to step back and look at the goal and say, okay, well, everyone wants to make $1 million, and some of you guys have already done that, so you want to make $10 million, and some of you haven't done that, so you want to make 100 grand or 50 grand, and you have to think about the goal. It's like, well, say you want to make your first 100 grand, but if you haven't done your first deal yet, it's okay to want to do 100 grand, right? But if your runway is the end of this year, why not potentially set the metric to be, get your first deal closed, whether it's 10 grand, 5 grand, heck, 2 grand. Sometimes we need that first dollar, that belief check, to know and truly understand and have faith in the fact that it's possible. It's not just what the person at the front of the room said. Now you've got a taste of it too. You got blood in your fangs. You know that you can take over the world, and that helps you build momentum to make more offers, to talk to more sellers, right? So keeping in mind, sometimes getting a win under your belt is not about knocking it out of the park. You just got to get on base. First, you got to get to the bat. First, you got to swing, and then get on base first. Know what that feels like, and then you'll be in a better position to stride around all 4 bases once you knock it out of the park.
When we have a client that we're working with right now who has gotten completely overwhelmed because their business has just exploded in the last month or so, like in October, their business exploded.
Good problem to have.
And yeah, it's an excellent problem to have. But then the challenge is that it's on a side where the automation isn't built out for them yet. And they're trying to figure out, like, they're trying to learn those deals. They're trying to learn the stages of those deals. They're trying to learn the phase, like what do you do in each step of, really what are the phases even of those types of deals. And so sometimes this is what I told him this morning is like, hey, let's just start with like 1 or 2 steps in each phase that you can see. Because even if let's say wholesale, if you've never done wholesale before and your education is limited on wholesale, you have a general idea of how a wholesale deal works. You get a contract, and you sell the contract. Okay, let's start with that. And then you start to fill in the blanks. And this is what I mean when we talk about process maps and coming up with your mind maps and your flows and all of that and big animal pictures, is like, just start with what you know. And even just taking those small baby steps really make a big difference in the long run, and not even the long run, right? In a couple months, and so look back at this year, how this whole year has been a whirlwind for everybody. But it's like today is November 10th, and think about how fast the last 8 months have gone. Like if you look back, those 8 months go fast. It doesn't matter that in that moment that April went really slow, or that June went really slow, or July. Like right now it's going to feel slow moving forward, because it's going to be like that process of building and that process of putting your plans in place and what you think is the right plan.
Yeah.
So just take those baby steps, and taking the baby steps are what propel you past all your competition. It's what propels you and your momentum to move strongly and swiftly into next year.
ABC, action builds confidence.